Yeah. Queen of Karma in the cut, what? Yeah. I don't duck smoke, I dance in it. Talk tough, then vanish. They have printed. Whole block know my past is a bad image. Turn pain into tax, I stack interest. They throw shots, I'ma clear pain, pass through it. Y'all talk tough on a crack screen, that's foolish. My name rings same way that cash do it. Every lie that you sell, I dash through it. Fake love in the group chat, I mute that. Heard you started healing circles just to loot cash. Little leader with a PayPal and a blue cap. Turn your temple to a tomb over true facts. I see scripts, I can read what you plan, boy. Turn sheep into soldiers, I dismantle your brand, boy. You prey on the weak, I'ma snap every strand, boy. Queen of Karma, write your sentence in my hand, boy. Yeah, I'm the Queen of Karma, I don't flinch, I fire. Dodging all the bullets, walking straight through the choir. Talk about a cult, I'ma tear down the liar. I don't fear nothing, I just turn up higher. Record scratch when they mention my name. Loop that, let it bang. Shut scams down when I step on this stage. I ain't scared of a god, I ain't scared of a game. Recruit in the DMs, trauma bait for a fee. Got a course for your grief, got a price on your piece. I expose every clause got a leak. Watch your doctrine collapse when my bars hit the beat. You say chosen, I say client. You sell silence, I sell sirens. You want worship, I want guidance. I bring facts, that's real violence. Haters talk slick, then they log off shaking. I'm in real life with receipts, no faking. Turn your church to a classroom graduation. From victims to victors, yeah, that's my nation. Every threat in my inbox, screenshot, pin it. Whole click looks small when the real light's in it. You prey on the scared, I pray that you witness how a girl from the gutter made the fear go missing. God. I'm the Queen of Karma, I don't flinch, I fire. Dodging all the bullets, walking straight through the choir. Talk about a cult, I'ma tear down the liar. Don't fear nothing, I just turn up higher. Record scratch when they mention my name. Loop that, let it bang. Shut scams down when I step on the stage. I ain't scared of a god, I ain't scared of a gang. Nah. Talk bigger than back that. Every fall that I see, I track that. Every chain on the mind, I crack that. If it's war for the truth, I'm past that. Marble if I still flawless. Heart full metal, I'm lawless. Whole room freeze when I call it. Fear ain't fit in my closet, never. I'm the Queen of Karma, I don't flinch, I fire. Dodging all the bullets, walking straight through the choir. Talk about a cult, I'ma tear down the liar. I don't fear nothing, I just turn up higher. Record scratch when they mention my name. Loop that, let it bang. Shut scams down when I step on the stage. I ain't scared of a god, I ain't scared of a gang. What?
Hello, everyone, and how are you all doing today? I hope that you're all having a fabulous, amazing day today. Happy Tuesday. I'm sorry I could not stream yesterday. It was very, very hot here, and I had a headache, and it was just a rough day, but I did go on Danny's stream last night, so you can always go and check that out. And yeah, today I would like to talk about Sipology, because Sipology has collapsed. There's a lot going on there, and I think it's very important that we talk about these things. Good to see you, Violet. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Hello, Nev. You might fall asleep. You have to be up in a few hours. At least your 9 to 5 can't shut down without notice. That's true. That's true. Very true. And Joe is here. Good to see you, Joe. And Joe says, oh no, no more gut balance fiber mix. What will we do? What will we do? Oh no! Oh no! I know, it's actually very upsetting. I think it's crazy how all of these MLMs are shutting down. So, Sipology, formerly known as Steeped Tea, abruptly terminated its MLM opportunity and halted operations, leaving thousands of distributors without their commissions and customers uncertain about their outstanding orders. The shutdown was announced through a brief notice on Sipology's website, and it cites unspecified financial circumstances. Unspecified financial circumstances. And it offers no timeline for resolution. The company's website has been replaced with this amazing page right here. It's fabulous. It looks like this. So as you can see, it says enter your password, enter store using password. And that's what you get when you go to the USA website. So, you know, that's not great. Sipology states it is unable to respond to individual inquiries. Distributors are reporting being locked out of the back office systems, and they're unable to access their own sales data. This sudden collapse marks the end of a 20-year run for the Canadian TMLM, and it raises serious questions about the stability of the MLM model in 2026 and beyond. So, let's take a look at what is going on here. Facebook was going off. So first of all, let's start off with Sipology began way back in 2006. Yes, it started in 2006, and it was founded here in Canada. Yay, Canada! Not really, but it was founded here in Canada. And one of the things that it did, oh no, is it buffering? Is it buffering right now? No, I think you're talking about their website. I'm covered in sleepy cats. That sounds like fun. But their big moment where they became a company was actually on the show Dragon's Den. And I can't watch the whole episode with you guys here today because I would be copyright claimed galore. But I did find a short summary that hopefully I don't get copyright claimed for. I have changed it around. I have flipped the image and I've changed the sound on it. So hopefully I don't get copyrighted. But if I do, and you're watching this in replay and you're like, what's going on? And all of a sudden it cuts weird. That's because I got copyrighted and I took the portion out. But here they are, a little summary of what happened with them on the Dragon's Den.
Canadian businesses have debuted in the Den. Let's check in on some of our greatest successes.
We have customized a tea for each one of you.
In Season 7, Adam and Tanya Jushin from Hamilton, Ontario, hoped the Dragons would infuse their business, steep tea, with $250,000.
Jim?
That's right, Hamilton, Ontario. Just not that far from me.
Oasis on the Green.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
They sell exotic tea flavors at home parties, and their idea sparked a heated bidding war.
$250,000 for 20%. Do you want to be our partner?
For sure. I like you guys. I think you've got something here.
I'll give you $250 for 18.
$300,000 for 30%.
And in the end, they cozied up to Jim and David.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Last time we caught up with
Don't we all wish that never happened?
Adam and Tanya, they closed the deal with their new Dragon partners
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
and moved into an 8,000 square foot facility.
We're going to do at least $2 million in sales. Thank you, Dragon's Den.
1 year later, and they're growing again.
3, 2, 1.
Good stuff. I'm here at the grand opening of the new factory of Steep Tea. Man, oh man, what a building. These guys have really taken it to a whole new level.
Since Dragon's Den, we have just exploded. We have moved into a brand new warehouse, 20,000 square foot warehouse.
Since last year, we've grown over 600%. We've entered the U.S. market.
Dragon's Den has definitely changed our lives. Hi, Dave. How are you?
You know, in all the years I've been in business, I don't think I've
Dragon's Den has definitely changed our lives. And then we ruined thousands of other people's lives with them after that. So, yay us.
seen a story quite like this. When we got involved, they were doing about 1.2 million in sales. A year later, we'll easily go through 10 to 12, and I'm not sure we won't go to 15 type thing. It's just crazy.
I've been a Dragon for 8 years, and Steep Tea is the best deal I've done. No question about it.
So yeah, as you can see, they started on Dragon's Den, and they were quite successful, obviously, for the first several years. Unfortunately for all of us now, you know, looking back. So that was them on the Dragon's Den. And on the 21st of April here, a bunch of people came onto Facebook, and they were all very, very upset. Hello, Jelly Snack. Good to see you. 20,000 square feet, that's not very large. I'm actually glad you said that, Joe, because, you know, if you look at the warehouse today out of Hamilton, Ontario, which is still where their main warehouse is, and you all know that I'm a little sleuther and that I'm from this area. So this is the warehouse here. This is it. And as you can see, they don't own the entire warehouse. In fact, they're not even listed anymore on the Google Maps, which I'm sure this hasn't been updated in at least a couple of years either, by the way. But they're not really listed on the Google Maps as being there. As you can see, it lists all the other companies that are using this warehouse. But this is the Sipology headquarters here. Just this worn down Hamilton warehouse that shares with 3 other places, one of them being a pharmacy, which is a little worrisome, you know, but whatever. I guess a warehouse is a warehouse at the same time. So that's what it looks like today. So this is somebody here saying, "Hi everyone. It is with sad news that I announce Sipology Canada has gone into receivership as of yesterday. The online shopping website is now closed. If you had an order waiting to be filled, Sipology will fulfill the order as best as possible with any inventory." I think they mean the remainder of the inventory. "I would like to thank you for your patronage and support over the past few years. At the end of this month, I will be shutting down this Facebook page. Thank you." Kind of sad. 10 years of tea, trips, and friendships. Last night, around 9 p.m., which I'm like, really? They waited until 9 p.m. to get a hold of people? That's shitty. Last night, around 9 p.m., we received the official news from the owners of Sipology that their doors have closed. It all started with a cup of Earl Grey and a dream from a spitfire of a woman, Tanya Jashan. I can't say her last name properly. Dragon's Den believed in that dream and invested, and look what it became. Over the past 10 years, Sipology gave me so much more than I ever expected. It allowed me to build a business that supported my love of travel and the extras in life. Because of it, I experienced incredible trips to Italy, a Caribbean cruise, Portugal, Panama, Mexico, St. Martin, Bahamas, and leadership events in San Francisco, Scottsdale, and Las Vegas, plus a few more along the way. To my customers, thank you. Thank you for your support, your loyalty, and your friendship. It all started with you simply loving the product, and it grew into so much more than I could have imagined. But more than anything, it gave me a community. Lifelong friendships. I really do hope that these friendships last. In my experience, they don't, just saying. We've laughed, we've cried, and then laughed some more. Today is a truly sad day. Hug a friend in business today. It's not easy, and it's never predictable. You don't run your own business, but whatever. Thank you, everyone, with love. Here's someone saying, "It's been a weird week since hearing the news that Sipology abruptly shut down. I definitely have mixed feelings about the company. Gratitude that they took a chance on me, hurt from the way they fired me, pride over the work I did, frustration over some of the choices made that led them here. But ultimately, I will always look back on my time here fondly. I got to teach social media sales to the entire field of a direct sales company. Part of me still can't believe that was real life. Mind blowing. Oh my God. I'm really proud of the work I did there for 3 years, teaching the consultants real marketing strategies instead of the spammy nonsense most other companies were teaching at the time. That's right, your company was the only one pretending not to be like other MLMs. My goal was for Sipology to not be a company people would run from, and I think we accomplished that. I also made sure to teach them how to build a brand around themselves, not the company, which should hopefully make this abrupt transition many of them are now facing a lot easier. To the current consultants, I just want to say I'm so sorry it ended this way. Take all the time you need to grieve. Some people will move on right away, which is great if you feel ready. And by that they mean move on to another MLM, of course. But if you need time, don't feel pressured to do this like anyone else. P.S. If you work with Sipology, now is not the time to make posts about how great your company is. And it's definitely not the time to message people trying to recruit them to your company. Give them space and time to grieve. And I do agree with that. Like, the other MLMs are really poachy. And when they see an MLM shut down, they all kind of come into the comment sections and they'll be like, oh, well, you can always join my team. And, that's part of the reason why people go MLM hopping. This person says, what happened last week took me time to process. As most of you probably have heard, Sipology closed their doors. Having enjoyed the tea since they opened, and for almost 6 years now sharing products I genuinely love as a Sipologist, it did come as a surprise. I had a lot of questions. Was it time to retire from 23 years in the direct sales industry? What does this look like for my health moving forward? How do I replace the support my body needs? The messages, the encouragement, the conversations this past week reminded me that people are my passion, and I would miss that. My processing time didn't take as long as I thought, though. Things started to align when I focused on the positive and not what was lost. I found a product that intrigues me, designed for real results. The company that comes with it is confirmation that this is for me. My new journey on this product starts tomorrow morning. So basically, yes, she's MLM off. It's simple, easy to take, and most importantly, it will be easy for my body to absorb. If you want to follow along to see the results, like or comment, heart below. So we've already got some people, moving on and trying to recruit from shutdown. This person says, I gave it some consideration as to whether I would mention it, but since I was known as the tea lady for a couple of years and sold tea from Sipology, I figured I would share this. This past week, Sipology announced that they were ceasing all business activities. And I'm kind of like, why wouldn't you share that? Like, were you just going to disappear into the abyss? I don't understand what your plan was if you weren't going to say anything. Like, just to, disappear and not tell your customers or your team what's going on? Well, weird, but okay. And we're not going to be able to pay any of the commissions due to their consultants. Everything came to a halt. There began to be a shift in focus from being a tea company to being a health and wellness company, even while I was still with them. They still sold the tea, but it started being less and less of a focus. It is sad because their teas were delicious and I absolutely loved their matcha. Like most people who really love their tea, I have quite a while before I will need more of either of them, but I will be on the lookout for a replacement source for my tea and matcha. For those of my friends who are directly affected by this, you have my sympathy, and I hope you use this time to pause and weigh your options as to what comes next. Leave the industry. They all end like this. If you have friends that are affected and you are connected to other companies, please do not start hitting them up with sales pitches as to why your company is the greatest. Give them their space and time. If they are interested, the right time will come. You know what they say, when God closes a door, he opens a window. Who goes through the house through the window? Like, you enter the house through the window? Who? And then there was FYI. I received this email from the CEO of Sipology Monday, 4/20. What a time to get this news. At 11:45 p.m. And what was the email? Well, it was pretty much their announcement that they sent out to everyone, you know? Well, they can always go into a coffee MLM. Yeah, hopefully not Organone Gold. Without their tea, boss babes are going to age overnight like the villain in Indiana Jones. Oh my God, that would be awful. So, this was the message that they put on their social media, and it was the message that they sent to everyone in the evening. Hold on, I think I have a better version that we can make bigger so that you can all see it. So this is it here. This is it here, and link down below. It's my article on this that I posted up late Sunday night, so it went up on Monday. But they state, "Hello, everyone. This is one of the hardest messages we've ever had to write. Sipology was never just a business. It was built in living rooms, around kitchen tables, and through conversations over a simple cup of tea. It became a community because of you, your passion, your belief, and the way you showed up for others every single day. What you created went far beyond products. You created connection, confidence, and moments that truly mattered. We are so deeply grateful. Due to financial circumstances," so yeah, as you can see, they're just like, financial circumstances, like they don't say anything else, "we've made the incredibly difficult decision to close our doors. Online ordering has been halted immediately. Given the company's financial position, we are unable to process commission payments." So in other words, you're not getting paid for this last month that you worked. We can't process your payments. We are essentially bankrupt. There are no words to fully express how heavy this is to share and how deeply we wish the outcome was different. At this stage, orders already placed will be processed where possible. No new orders will be accepted. We will not be able to respond to individual inquiries moving forward. This decision comes after exhausting every option possible. Does it though? I mean, do we believe that? Let me know in the comments. What we built together mattered. It changed lives, including ours, mainly yours. Let's be real. Thank you for years of belief, the energy, the laughter, and the love you poured into this community. It has meant more than we can ever fully express. With heartfelt gratitude, Tanya, Adam, and the Sipology team. So, there was that. So there has been some rumors that they are entering a receivership. Now, Sipology has not confirmed this publicly, and I can't find any court filings yet to verify the claim. Now, that being said, this would be going on in Canada. And here in Canada, we're a little bit different when it comes to privacy and like these kinds of lawsuits. So it could be going on right now, and the information just might not be publicly available. It could be being protected by privacy laws until it's all said and done, and then there will be a release of information where they will basically do like a statement explaining everything. And in case you don't know what a receivership means, it is when a third party is appointed by a court through a court order by a secured creditor through a letter of appointment. So this usually happens in bankruptcy cases. So that since they can't pay out commissions and they can only use their old inventory to fulfill orders for customers, we're figuring that they are bankrupt and that they are filing bankruptcy right now. And because of that, that's why people are thinking that this is happening because they've entered this receivership. And what it means is that somebody else basically takes control of the property, they supervise the liquidation proceedings, and they remit the proceeds according to priorities established by common or statutory law. There are two types of receivers: court-appointed receivers. So that's like you go to bankruptcy court and basically they are like, hey, listen, you're in bankruptcy, and in order to save this and make sure that the stockholders and distributors and people here get their money, we're going to appoint this person, okay? Or basically the company can choose to get their own receiver, right? And they can privately appoint a receiver, which is usually through a secured creditor. So that's what it means, just in case you weren't really familiar with the process. So if the receivership is confirmed, distributors would be classified as unsecured creditors. Historically, the group least likely to recover losses in MLM collapses, unfortunately. So that has to be known. I need you all to understand that. Unfortunately, it's always the distributors that pay the highest price when this stuff goes on. And that's why, our community exists. That's why our community exists, to speak out about these things, because it's always the distributors that get the shitty end of the deal. They are at the bottom of the pyramid. That's right. The lack of transparency from Sipology's leadership has intensified frustration among distributors, many of whom invested heavily in inventory, events, and recruitment. Now, I do consider this shutdown to be part of the larger pattern. Since 2023, dozens of MLMs have downsized, restructured, or collapsed entirely. The industry is facing unprecedented pressure. Declining recruitment, shrinking customer bases, post-pandemic cost increases, regulatory scrutiny, you're welcome, and collapse of the party plan model. It is getting harder and harder for people to hold these parties, right? And Sipology's collapse fits this pattern. When recruitment slows and sales decline, MLM companies often collapse suddenly, leaving distributors financially exposed. Again, they are the ones that always pay the highest price. And it's really not fair. So, the most significant fallout is the unpaid commissions, okay? Distributors who hosted parties, placed orders, recruited others, and invested in inventory may never receive the income they were promised. And this happens over and over and over again. And this is why we get so frustrated. We're like, why are these even considered an ethical business? Like, how is this ethical, Common distributor reports include hundreds to thousands of dollars in unpaid commissions, unfulfilled customer orders that distributors now feel responsible for. There's a lot of customers right now that are being told, the inventory isn't there. We can't process your orders anymore. And there's been a lot of issues with people receiving refunds, Just saying. Inventory purchased for upcoming events can no longer be sold. Loss of business expenses that cannot be recouped. And emotional distress from feeling responsible for downline losses. Because if you're at the top of a pyramid and now everybody's losing their jobs, they're not able to write the CEO. No, they write their upline. So it's the uplines that get stuck with all of the messages going, where's our money? How come our orders aren't being fulfilled? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And they often don't know any more than the downline. And it just creates this culture of the wrong people getting yelled at, the wrong people that are being affected negatively by this. And at the end of the day, of course, the people that own the company are always the ones that make out the best. And it's just so frustrating. You know, it's a recurring pattern here. Distributors absorb the financial and emotional damage while corporate leadership remains insulated. For many, Sipology was not just a side gig, it was a community source of identity. Like I say, these things take over your identity. They're like a cult. They are a cult, in my opinion. Some of them are less culty than other ones. But when you're in an MLM, just like when you're in any career, that career can become a part of your identity. You are no longer just insulin violet. You're Sipology insulin violet. And it becomes a part of you. And when these companies shut down, it feels like you lose a part of yourself, similar to if you're at a job for 20 years and all of a sudden the doors close. It's just, I would argue that in these MLMs, they really do come into your living room and your kitchen. So they tend to take over your life way more. There's a lot of issues with like boundaries, right? And working from home can be very difficult because it's hard to kind of go off the clock and then be like, now I'm on family time. And in MLMs especially, they push you to not do that. Your family time gets enmeshed with the time that you're selling your business. And so it really does take over your identity, and it can feel like you're losing a part of yourself. And that often is the hardest part for people to deal with when these things shut down. Not to mention all of the dreams that you had for your future that are now, the promised path to financial independence. It leaves everybody in this thing feeling absolutely betrayed. So let's look at the timeline of this decline. So in 2006, they launched as Steep Tea. It was founded in Canada as a party plan MLM selling loose leaf tea and accessories, and it was all about the teas. From 2012 to 2016, there was rapid growth. Steep Tea gains traction through home parties and social selling. Recruitment expands across Canada and into the US. Tanya and her husband Adam pitched the business on Dragon's Den, the Canadian version of Shark Tank, right? 2017, the plateau begins. Distributor complaints increase about declining sales, market saturation, difficulty maintaining ranks, rising costs of hosting parties. In 2018, they rebrand the company because it was already having issues from Steep Tea to Sipology. And that was an attempt to modernize the brand and appeal to younger consumers. But the ship fails to reverse declining recruitment, and a lot of it turned into health and wellness. So a lot of the distributors, especially now speaking out, are saying that at that time, the company made a shift from just being about teas to being more about your health and wellness. It was more of a health MLM. And for a lot of people that were kind of like quirky and only into teas, that was kind of a big change, They were like, oh, I'm not really a health, go to the gym girly. I'm more of like a sit on the couch and read a book with a tea girly. Like, oh, now I got to pretend that I'm a health and wellness girly. What's going on, From 2021 to 2023, there was an industry-wide downturn. Sipology faces the same pressures as other MLMs: shrinking customer demand, increased competition from non-MLM tea brands, higher shipping and supply chain costs, and difficulty retaining distributors. Distributor chatter reflects growing frustration with compensation changes and reduced support. And that again came with the change into the health and wellness. 2024, operational strain becomes visible. And in 2024 on Reddit, there was a lot of people discussing how the distributors were leaving. So there was a lot of distributors starting in 2024 that were announcing their departures from this company. And the anti-MLM community started to notice and go, something's going on over here. So report surface of delayed orders, reduced customer service response time, and inconsistent commission payouts. They allegedly have been having trouble paying their commissions for quite a while. In 2025, there was a quiet retrenchment. So Sipology reduced their marketing, they cut back on their events, and scaled down their operations. But the distributor numbers continue to fall, and this is when people were like, oh shit, I think the company's going down. In early 2026, distributors report missing commissions completely. Unprocessed refunds when, a customer was refunding or even a distributor was refunding a product. There were a lot of unfulfilled orders that were being reported, and lack of communication from corporate. Distributors were out here going, nobody's telling us anything and we're having all these problems. What do we do? And then in April, this month, this year, Sipology announced termination of the MLM opportunity, inability to pay commissions, shutdown of the ordering systems, and the website was replaced with a password-protected page. Distributors are left now without answers. So what does this mean for consumers and distributors? Sipology's collapse highlights several ongoing risks inherent to the MLM model. Distributors have no financial protections. Okay? There is no labor board, really. It's not the same. They're independent contractors. And there aren't the same protections for that. You are not a small business owner, despite them telling you that you are and trying to convince you otherwise. Companies can terminate opportunities without notice. And that's, again, because you're not a small business owner. You don't own the rights to this logo, to this company. If they decide to close their doors, you can't continue operations. You can't take it over and continue with the products. That's really important to understand. Earned commissions are not guaranteed. Never. Inventory-based models leave distributors holding unsellable stock. And right now on Facebook, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Sipology people on Marketplace trying to get rid of all of their stock. Corporate leadership faces little accountability, which I hate, and we definitely need to do more to make it so that they face more accountability. But we can't do that as long as these things are socially acceptable. We can't do that as long as there's still people in the world who go, well, they're just stay-at-home moms running a side gig. Let them do their thing, For consumers who are also affected by this means outstanding orders may not be fulfilled. Refunds may be difficult or even impossible to obtain. There are people stating that they are not getting them, then they're not getting anywhere with work. No one's answering. Customer service may be unreachable. And right now, according to people online, like I said, they're having issues. If the company is shutting down, so they don't have customer service, you can no longer call up and say, hey, where's my refund? It's like they just never existed and you're shit out of luck. For distributors, the financial and emotional fallout may last far longer than the company itself. Sipology's shutdown is another example of the instability built into the MLM model. When recruitment slows or sales decline, companies often collapse suddenly, leaving distributors unpaid and unsupported. As more MLMs face financial strain going forward, Sipology's collapse serves as a warning. The risks of MLM participation are real, and the consequences fall hardest on the people least protected. And we need to do something about that. It's really, really frustrating me more and more as all of these companies are shutting down. I will continue to monitor the situation and will update this article if receivership filings or additional disclosures become available in the future. Can a bank stop payment for unfulfilled orders? I would suggest you try. If you are in that situation and you're trying to get a refund and they are unable to refund you, you could try to get a hold of the bank. Now, the only issue is if they are for bankruptcy. If they are filing for bankruptcy, I don't know if that would affect any of that. And I have been looking, like I said, but I can't find any information to give you further information on if they're filing or not, even being here in Ontario, Canada. We probably won't know for a little while. But like I said, I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to keep searching. But, you know, there are some people that are stating that they have entered receivership. And I wouldn't be surprised because let's be real. It's not like they're shutting down because they want to. You know what I mean? Like they're not just kind of like, no, I don't feel like running this company anymore. Now, they have gotten in trouble in the past for illegal income claims. They have gotten in trouble in the past for medical claims. But as I've stated, I've looked to see if that has anything to do with them shutting down. There's nothing filed by the FTC. There's nothing filed by the FDA. There's nothing filed by Health Canada. There is nothing that shows that, they're being shut down by a regulatory agency. So that's not what is going on here. I honestly think that they've been having some issues with their warehouse and trying to figure out how to make the product and get orders filled. And that's been going on for a couple of years, as we've been discussing. And I think that they finally just went, you know what, we might not be able to fix this. Maybe we should try the receivership thing and try to save this the best that we can. Because sometimes after bankruptcy with a receivership, they can kind of bring the company back. So it looks like that might be the route that they are going. And like I said, I will update you with more information as it becomes available in the future. So stay tuned for that. Today we are talking about cults a little bit more on my community tab. And tomorrow I want to take a moment and talk about something that I think is very important that was just announced by the feds. So I think we might go through that tomorrow. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me for this quite short live stream. But I thought we would talk about that. It's very important. If you are in the anti-MLM community and you do see people in Sipology out there in the world on social medias and they're posting, show them some love. Don't show up there and be like, you can come join our community. Don't pressure them or anything, but just leave them a little comment saying, I'm really sorry you're going through this with a heart or something. Send them some love. Try to be understanding. It's a really hard time for everyone in this thing. And have a fabulous rest of your day. I am going to go finish my house cleaning and have a nap. And I hope that all of you are enjoying this crazy weather we're having. It's like summer all of a sudden here in Ottawa, but I'm not complaining. All of the links are down below so that you can check out my article, which also leads you to other links. And I will see you all tomorrow for another fabulous live stream. Make sure you subscribe, think about joining our members, think about, supporting me on PayPal. Link is down below. I love all of your faces. Bye! and subscribe. Join the members.